After nearly 50 years of marriage, a couple was lying in bed one evening when the wife felt her husband begin to massage her in ways he hadn't in quite some time. It almost tickled as his fingers started at her neck, and then began moving down past the small of her back. He then caressed her shoulders and neck, slowly worked his hand down, stopping just over her stomach. He then proceeded to place his hand on her left inner arm, working down her side, passing gently over her buttock and down her leg to her calf. Then he proceeded up her thigh, stopping just at the uppermost portion of her leg. He continued in the same manner on her right side, then suddenly stopped, rolled over, and became silent. As she had become quite aroused by this caressing, she proceeded to ask in a loving voice, "Honey, that was wonderful. Why did you stop?" He responded, "I found the remote." An elderly man living alone in the UK wanted to plant his annual tomato garden, but it was very difficult work since the ground was hard. His only son, Paul, who used to help him, was in prison. The older father wrote a letter to his son and described his predicament. "Dear Paul, I am feeling pretty sad because it looks like I won't be able to plant my tomato garden this year. I'm just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. I know if you were here, my troubles would be over. I know you would be happy to dig the plot for me, like in the old days. Love, Dad." A few days later, he received a letter from his son. "Dear Dad, don't dig up that garden. That's where the bodies are buried. Love, Paul." At 4 a.m. the next morning, the homicide squad and local police all arrived and dug up the entire area without finding any human remains. They apologized to the old man and left. That same day, the father received another letter from his son. "Dear Dad, go ahead and plant the tomatoes now. That's the best I could do under the circumstances." A father passing by his son's bedroom noticed the room was unusually clean and saw an envelope propped up prominently on the pillow. It was addressed, "Dad." With the worst premonition, he opened the envelope and read the letter with trembling hands. "Dear Dad, it is with great regret and sorrow that I'm writing you. I had to elope with my new girlfriend because I wanted to avoid a scene with Mom and you. I've been finding real passion with Stella. She is so nice, but I knew you would not approve of her because of all her piercings, tattoos, her tight motorcycle clothes, and because she is so much older than I am. But it's not only the passion, Dad. She's pregnant. Stella said that we will be very happy. She owns a trailer in the woods and has a stack of firewood for the whole winter. We share a dream of having many more children. Stella has opened my eyes to the fact that marijuana doesn't really hurt anyone. We'll be growing it for ourselves and trading it with the other people in the commune for all the cocaine and ecstasy we want. In the meantime, we'll pray that science will find a cure for AIDS so that Stella can get better. She sure deserves it. Don't worry, Dad, I'm 15 and I know how to take care of myself. Someday I'm sure we'll be back to visit so you can get to know your many grandchildren. Love, your son, Josh. P.S. Dad, none of the above is true. I'm over at Kenneth's house. I just wanted to remind you that there are worse things in life than the school report that's on the kitchen table. Call when it is safe for me to come home. It started with a sweet text from their daughter. "Can you watch the kids for a few hours, just until dinner?" Edna, ever the optimist, replied with a thumbs-up emoji and 4 heart stickers. Frank squinted at the phone. "Are you sure she meant today? Last time I agreed to babysit, I woke up with glitter in my belly button." "She said they're easy now." "They're older," Edna smiled. Frank grunted. "So are we." By 10:12 a.m., the living room looked like a toy factory exploded during a disco. There were Legos in the fish tank, applesauce on the ceiling, and someone had used a marker to draw a 6-pack on Frank's bald belly while he dozed off. "I told you," Frank groaned, sliding off the armchair like a slow landslide. "They don't come over, they invade." I just stepped on a dinosaur and a Barbie shoe, Edna whispered through gritted teeth. I think I need a tetanus shot. The youngest grandkid streaked by, giggling, wearing only a lampshade and one sock. Meanwhile, outside the window, their daughter pulled out of the driveway like she was escaping a hostage situation. She's not coming back till sundown, Edna sighed. Frank picked up a juice box and drank it in one gulp. Then we're not cleaning until sunrise. Around the beginning of the 20th century, a society lady runs into the employment office one day and demands a maid right now. It seems she's having a dinner party that night and her maid quit. The guy in the agency explains that all the girls he has right now have just gotten off the boat from Ireland. They're untrained. The lady says she'll train the girl but needs someone right away. The agency man asks for volunteers and Molly comes forward. She agrees to go and be trained. Well, the dinner party comes and goes, and although some of the guests seem to disappear now and then, everything works out just fine. Molly does a great job. The next morning, the lady's walking down the upstairs hall and sees Molly in one of the guest rooms. Looks like she's making the bed, but she's just standing there. Curious, the woman walks in and looks over Molly's shoulder. There on the bed lies a condom. The lady turns bright red and tries to laugh it off. "Why, Molly?" she says. "Surely you have those in Ireland, don't you?" Molly swallows nervously and says, "Surely we do, madam, but we don't skin 'em." One day, an old lady went to the doctor because she had an itch in her crotch. She told the doctor her problem, and he said, "You have the crabs." She informed the doctor that it could not be the crab because she was an 80-year-old virgin. She went to another doctor and explained her problem to him. The doctor said, "You probably have the crabs." "No," she said. "I am an 80-year-old virgin frustrated." She went to a third doctor. She said, "Doctor, can you help me? I have an itch in my crotch. Don't tell me that it is the crabs because I am an 80-year-old virgin. It cannot be the crabs." The doctor said, "Jump on the table and let's have a look." After examining it, the doctor proclaimed, "Ma'am, you're right, you do not have the crabs. This cherry is so old you have fruit flies." A duck waddles into a neighborhood bar, hops up on the stool, and says, "I'll have a beer and a ham sandwich, please." The bartender stares at him and says, "Wait a minute, you're a duck." The duck looks around and says, "Wow, your eyesight's working fine." The bartender blinks. "And you can talk?" The duck nods. "Ears are working too, huh? Now about that beer and sandwich?" Still stunned, the bartender pours the beer, makes the sandwich, and sets them down. "Sorry," he says. "It's just, we don't get many ducks in here. What brings you around?" "I'm working at the construction site across the street," says the duck. "I'm a plasterer." The bartender can't believe it, but he keeps quiet as the duck opens a newspaper, eats his sandwich, sips his beer, and leaves a few dollars on the counter before heading out. This goes on every day for 2 weeks. Same duck, same order, same routine. Then one afternoon, the circus comes to town. The ringmaster stops in for a drink, and the bartender says, "Hey, you run the circus, right? You'll never believe this. I've got a duck customer who talks, drinks beer, eats sandwiches, reads the newspaper, the whole bit. He'd be perfect for your show." The ringmaster's eyes light up. "That's amazing. Here's my card. Have him call me." The next day, when the duck waddles in, the bartender says excitedly, "Hey, I got you a great opportunity. Big money, steady work." The duck says, "I'm listening. Where is it?" "At the circus," says the bartender, grinning. The duck looks puzzled. "The circus? You mean that place with the big tent?" "That's the one. With the animals in cages and the performers living in trailers?" "Exactly. With the canvas roof and a hole in the middle?" "Right again." The duck stares at him for a long moment, shakes his head and says, "Buddy, what in the world would they want with a plasterer?"